What's good, everybody? Happy Wednesday already, a shortened holiday week. The markets were higher again. Actually, every one of the major indices hit new highs. The Dow 30 was up 98 to finish the day. The S&P 500 was up 17, and the Nasdaq up 58. They all hit new record highs. Oil was a big focus today. Let's see if we can take you over there to oil. Oil was at new highs again, up about 2.2% on the day. Here's the chart of oil. This is the actual price of oil per barrel. And there you go. Oil futures just killing it there. So anything in the oil space, oil explorers, people that drill for it, sell equipment for it, all of that stuff doing really, really well right now. Another focus today was the Fed minutes. So they had their meeting last month, and then what happens now is they release the minutes of the meeting. Basically, every word that was said in the meetings, they released to the public, so they say. And what they basically came out with was that the Fed said, hey, you know, tax reform, they were debating amongst themselves, and they said tax reform is probably going to have a good impact on GDP. And they also thought it would help the consumer spending overall, right? So what happened there is the consumer discretionary products, let's see. Consumer discretionary products actually hit new highs, blasted off. Those are things that you don't necessarily need. These are the fun things that you spend your money on. So this is a chart of the sector, the consumer discretionary space, obviously doing well if they've got the Fed's back, if the Fed's saying, yeah, things are going to go great. And so that was about it. It was kind of a quiet market day today. As for the stocks that may be affecting your retirement, let's take a look at Intel. Intel came out, well, a report came out that said that one of their chips over the last 10 years have been significantly flawed, and it said something about significant redesign of Linux and Windows kernels. Basically, I think, right, I'm not a tech nut here, but I think what happens is these chips were actually giving backdoor access to, you know, some of your stuff on your computer there. So it came out. When that came out, Intel was down about 6%. You can see it on the charts there. Big sharp drop. That was the #1 loser in the Dow. It was the #1 loser in the Nasdaq. And then Intel came out and they said, you know what? It's probably not just us. They mentioned AMD also. They said they might have some significant problems too. Well, what happened is when Intel took a hit, everybody ran over to AMD and said, oh no, we better buy this one instead of Intel. AMD was up about 10%. Well, when Intel came out and said, it ain't just us, it's going to be AMD also, it lost half of its value, and look how quickly this happened. This is, I'll show you on the charts here, every one of these little blips that you're seeing on the chart is 2 minutes worth of time. So everything's cool, AMD's just moving along every 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, bam, Intel says, nah, you guys are going down with us. And it took a hit there. Nonetheless, AMD is still up for the day, about 5%. Intel did close lower. Let's move on to Southwest Airlines. The thumbnail, you may have noticed, spelled LUV, L-U-V, and that's because Southwest Airlines ticker symbol is LUV. So Southwest Airlines sharing the love today. They're giving a $1,000 one-time cash bonus to all their employees thanks to the savings that they're getting from the tax reform bill. Now, this isn't the first company to do this. Remember, the very moment the tax reform had passed the House, the very moment there were like 5 companies, BB&T, AT&T, some other T, they all came out and said, we're giving away bonuses. And we said, you know what? Isn't that kind of funny that the very second that happens, they already knew the numbers and they ran it? So probably got invited by some people from the White House to say good things about tax reform. Southwest Airlines was not invited to that party, so they ran their numbers and they came up with, hey, actually, we're going to be able to give away a bonus too. But here's the thing. The stock was down today about 2%. Why is that? Well, the money is coming to employees. It's not going to investors. This is not a dividend. This is not a cash payment to any stockholders. This is going to employees. This doesn't affect investors really at all unless you're also an employee of the company. In addition to that, oil has been quite strong. And this may be the point where Southwest and some other airlines just can't fight those higher oil prices in the short term. Now, in the long term, you know, obviously oil prices have been much higher. There won't be much of an issue. They'll figure it out. But in the short term, even though they're giving out a $1,000 bonus, investors were like, hey, man, what about us? You're not giving us $1,000? All right, we're going to sell your stock. So the stock was lower. Finally, and I wish I had some better stuff to talk about today, but it was just really one of those days, not really a lot of news. ExxonMobil, you're seeing on the screen there. You know ExxonMobil, the gas station company, the oil company, the refiner, the transporter. They basically, if they touch oil, it comes from them. So up about 2% today. Here's the thing. Oil prices obviously helping their bottom line overall. But if you like to look at charts, there are such a thing as called technical traders, and they look at charts. And they basically look at these blobs that you see on the screen and come up with reasons to buy or sell stocks. One of them is a massive, what they call, breakout. So the stock had basically not been able to get over this high for so long. And then what happened over here is it started bumping up against it. But this time it didn't sell off very much. It tried again, and this time it didn't sell off even much more. It was very slow sell-off. So what happens is now that it breaks out above that, the people that use charts to buy stocks, well, they were 100% in this one. They love that pattern. And the people that play based on higher prices of oil, well, they're also in it too. So nonetheless, everybody's jumping in, enjoying ExxonMobil. Very good day for it. Well, that's just some of the stocks that were affecting your retirement investments today. All good news, it seems, at the moment. The market refuses to go down. If you like watching this, then maybe you'll like some of these videos up here. If you'd like to get some help with your retirement accounts, feel free to click the link to our website there. It's on the web, on the screen right here or something. I don't know. Other than that, that'll wrap it up. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.